point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Here we are! Yeah! Hey everyone! This is a very special episode of Kill Me Now. Oh, fuck you! Okay, my bike helmet just fell. My bike helmet that lights up. Anyway, this is a very special episode of Kill Me Now because...
very special.
Very! Because A, Hennessy's not here because he had to go to Maine to film something and then decided not to get back to me. Because that's what 30-plus-year-old people do. They just don't get back to you because... Anyway,
I get back.
You're normal. I mean, it's ridiculous. So Hennessy's not here. And my bike helmet just fell, but Patrick's here, which means that it's like we're just alone.
Right.
If Patrick's here.
Right.
I just want to tell everyone before we begin, I have been posting menopause pictures of my hot flashes lately. And then for about 4 weeks, I didn't have any hot flashes. And I was like, uh-oh, what's going on? And then I got my period yesterday. So I just want to say I'm going to be 55 in November, and I still get my period, folks. Okay?
That means you can still get pregnant, right?
Yeah, with
Technically.
with
crazy drugs and
but then I could also have like a
barely a child.
Right.
Not a human.
Like a finger. I could have a finger or a toenail.
Ew.
If you don't recognize that voice, then you are not cool.
Oh no, that's silly.
Not true.
That's silly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Eliot Glazer is
Thank
here.
you so much for having me.
Oh my God,
goodness.
Eliot, I've been trying to have you for a while. But you're in
thrilled.
LA.
Yes, I'm in LA. I'm an exile.
Like I never thought you'd be. Well, first of all.
Well, yeah.
Oh right, we forgot the bell. Patrick, thank you. Thank you very much. Eliot Glazer is here.
Thank you.
That's the Jew bell.
Right.
So anytime anything remotely Jewish or a Jewish person is mentioned.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you're so you've been in LA and you like it, LA.
Oh, I love LA. I love it.
Did you think you would like it?
No, I used to just tell myself as a New Yorker, I'd never go to LA. I would never.
Right.
Why would I go to LA? And then I had to go there. I started writing on the show Younger a few years ago.
Yes.
And I was there for months at a stretch, and was like, "Wait a minute, this is incredible!" Like,
well, it's a lot easy. Well, the only bad thing is the traffic. I
don't care about traffic.
Really?
It doesn't bother me. I'm telling you,
like for hours in the car.
I don't spend hours in the car. I guess maybe I don't have that type of commute.
Where do you live in LA?
I live in Atwater Village, which is a little part of Los Feliz.
Yes, I used to live in Los Feliz.
Yeah,
that was one of my first apartments.
I loved it. I love it there. And I was the last show that I was writing on that was basically, at that point every day was New Girl. And so that was a drive to the Fox lot in Culver City, which is 40 minutes. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. This is the difference for me and this is truly the big thing for me. In New York, I had just resigned myself to the idea that, anywhere you go all the time, no matter where you go, it's torture because you're, submitted to the elements.
Right.
In LA, I'm in a spaceship. Like, I'm in a cool 66 degrees spaceship.
What kind of car?
A Prius C. And I regret it.
You're a lesbian. You're a lesbian. A lesbian. A lesbian.
I am. I'm the first one to tell you.
Why'd you go? Did you get the Prius to be a good person?
Yeah, but literally, it's nothing but Priuses and Chevy Volts in LA, and I love that. People are just.
But what about the Tesla?
I don't. I'm not I can't even put together words to respond to the idea of owning a Tesla. I'd love to. I
have a friend with a Tesla.
Oh my God.
And it's like you're in a
spaceship.
Yeah.
You're in a spaceship.
But it's like a computer. It's
like an iPad. And It's crazy. It's a crazy car.
I'm not into the other thing is I will never go into a driverless car.
A driverless car? Oh, no. That's
I don't know how any Jews could ever.
Oh,
I mean, can you imagine a Jew in that?
No way.
Oh my God! More than this! What the hell is going on?
I would not step foot. I'm not letting a robot drive me around. That's terrifying.
I know. I know, and then all that screaming about direction, it's all gone.
It's terrible.
We have no connection. We don't interact with one another.
The irony is that we also get in cars here in New York where we're basically putting our lives on the line, which is so funny too.
Yeah, and planes.
And planes.
And trains. And the subway.
Yeah, sure. I can't.
I'm done. I ride my bike now. Every fucking day when I get up, there is, besides my, oh my God, what did he do today check of the fucking asshole orange piece of shit. There's the Beeline is now, it's like the fucking, it's like ridiculous.
What's happening?
And they have a surplus. The MTA has
a financial surplus.
But what's his name? Cuomo said that we're, declared a state emergency. You want to know why? Because de Blasio is in fucking Germany trying to be like, the head of the fucking
What
UN.
is happening? Why is the subway so fucked?
It's fucked.
It's crazy. That's why I like my car. That's why I don't mind traffic, because if you're in traffic in a hot subway in the dark, and you don't know where
you're with other people that you know.
Oh, I don't want to be with other people.
What do you listen to in the car?
Well, I listen to Howard Stern religiously.
Oh, me too!
You do?
Yes!
Very Jewish. Very Jewish. I
don't like that he does that when he I don't know if he still says it.
What?
When he says I'm half Jewish and half Italian, because both of his parents are Jewish.
Oh, I've never heard him say.
He used to say that like years ago.
Oh no, he talks very openly about being a Jew. Yeah, it's great. Does he record in this building?
No, that's at Sirius.
Oh, okay.
Next.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
No, we're at CBS.shit.
We're at CBS. Yeah.
Play.shit.
CBS.shit.
Play.shit. I loved him. I remember him. Well, you're too young.
No,
Eliot.
I'm not.
When he had that late night show on Channel 4.
9.
Or 9.
Channel 9,
Channel 9.
Scared the shit out of me.
I loved it.
I was a kid and I was scared shitless of him.
Really?
Yeah, well, the funny story is that my friend Michael, who's a media literacy teacher to kids, he's sort of a savant of all things media.
Right.
And he begged me for years saying, you'd love Stern. And I said, no, I don't like the way he talks about women and gay people. And my friend was like, he doesn't do that anymore. He's very much evolved and you'd really appreciate it.
But when he did it, it was like his MO was to expose how idiotic it sounded.
And my dad, I realized, so I hadn't listened to Stern because I thought I didn't want to hear that stuff. My dad used to listen to it, and I was like, Dad, why are you listening to this stuff? Now I realize, having started to listen to it a couple of years ago, like you're saying, exactly, he's exposing the bullshit.
Right.
He truly is like, he exposes nonsense.
Right.
And bullshit.
And feeds into it so that people can see how fucking stupid.
And just by playing. Right. People wouldn't even think that the idea that, like, just by playing bloopers from the news is exposing the bullshit of how broadcasting sounds like, like when he does that voice.
Yeah.
It's true. But that's true.
Like
and it's
Brian
true.
Williams.
Yes.
I fucking can't stand
that voice. But he's his whole show is the exposing of, like, the nonsense.
Right.
Raw bullshit. And I love it. I just think it's so. And it's also so unapologetically lowbrow that shit is just so funny on its own, too.
And he's so smart.
So smart. Robin is so smart.
I know. I love her.
The two of them working together is incredible. She is like, the greatest thing about her, too, is that she's supposed to be the voice of reason, but she's the craziest of all of them.
Right.
She's shooting coffee up her ass. And, get in Guatemala with a shaman on the side of the road.
I love her.
It's the greatest.
I know. She's the best.
And it's 30 years of inside jokes.
Right.
30 years of inside jokes.
And they've had fans for 30 years.
30 years. And I realized growing up when I started listening that my dad used to call me Baba Booey.
No way.
Yes. And as an adult, I was like, Dad, wait, you called me Baba Booey because of Stern? He was like, yeah, I guess I did. And he would, like, my dad would basically be doing, like, jokes, because Alana's and my father is incredibly funny.
Oh, I was going to ask you that. Because, all right, so you grew up in Long Island, St. James.
That's right.
All white.
Oh my God.
I grew up. I wanted to talk to you about that because I grew up in an all white town.
Brick, right? Brick, New Jersey?
No, Clark. Okay.
5 letters. K.
And all right, so my mother grew up in Manhattan.
Right.
So we used to go to the city all the time.
Sure.
But there were people there.
In Clark.
In 27 miles from New York City.
Yep.
Who, I don't go to the city.
Oh my God.
I would never go to the city.
Has Alana talked to you about this? Because that's what we talk about. That we're from an hour outside the city,
right?
And my mom's from Queens. My dad is from Brooklyn. We grew up going to the city all the time,
right?
And there were so many people who, why would I go to the city? It's dirty. What? What am I going to do in the city? It's like, what are you going to do here?
Your house is fucking dirty.
What do you want to do in Wantagh?
I know.
What does Hauppauge have that Manhattan doesn't? It's crazy.
And my father grew up in Perth Amboy, New Jersey.
Sure.
But they loved the theater and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Whatever. And we had relatives in New York City, and my father used to call them farmers. Like they're farmers. They're farmers, Judith. They're farmers.
It's so weird.
But I heard you say that once, and I was like, oh my God, it's so and you said, and I never even thought about it. It didn't enter my mind that it was a racist thing.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, and Alana is, pushes that narrative for me as well. Like she's really opened my eyes to a lot of that.
Right.
And it's so true. It's just like it's even if it's not like outward racism, it's just a desire to not mingle with people who don't look or sound like you. Right. And therefore it's like, yeah, it's pretty gross of you.
Well, in my town, there was the Jewish Italian area.
Right.
And then the, Polish, German.
Sure.
Nazi.
Yes.
We had a KKK. We had like swastikas on the house.
Yeah, lovely.
1968. It was fabulous.
Yeah,
but it was separated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was segregated. Yeah, it just is.
The separate areas of. I mean, and they were completely separate.
We had again, it's like you. It's like an hour outside the city,
right?
And we had a family that was chased out of town because they were biracial.
No way.
They were a biracial family with children, and because of the, I guess, racism that they, that they came into contact with,
right?
They moved to North Carolina.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Alana and I were like, that's
insane.
Horrible.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable on so many levels, and it's just and my mom, my parents will even say all the time, like, oh, we should have moved to Massachusetts because they met at UMass Amherst and just love like New England.
I have a house in Provincetown.
Yeah, it's a liberal bastion of greenery. It's gorgeous,
and it's interesting. You're lucky you had those parents and I'm lucky I had my parents because to get out of that whole fucking situation.
Yes.
All right, so your parents were both in finance, right, and insurance.
My dad is. My mom sort of works for him, but she initially went to law school before deciding to just be a full-time mom to Alana and I.
Really?
Yeah, she went to Pace.
And what kind of law did she want to?
I think I'm not sure. I think family law, but I'm not positive.
Right. And then she just was like, I don't fucking.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot of comics too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it was just too much pressure at that point, and she decided she made a decision, and I think ultimately, like, our parents, since they like loved New England and they loved Massachusetts, I think they wanted to stay there, but my dad had the family business was here in Long Island, where they would supply hardware to hardware stores, and my dad was sort of roped into joining the family business, and my parents were young in their 20s.
How old were they when they had you?
I think 27.
Wow.
Yeah, but ultimately I think I don't want to speak for them, but I think they would have enjoyed life maybe a little bit more. I mean, they wanted to be near our grandparents, which was important to me, and I couldn't imagine not having our grandparents. Exactly.
Without the grandparents.
I couldn't imagine it. I mean, really. But
sacrifice. I hope they sacrificed for both of you.
Oh, of course. Oh, absolutely. My grandparents, forget it.
Really? Are they still alive?
No, I can't. Well, I can't talk about. It's like I can't even say the words because they were amazing.
Okay. Well, I have no parents, so shut the fuck up. All right. I know. Aren't they? Is this your father's parents, or your mother's parents? I know.
Oh my God, incredible.
What about your father's parents?
Yeah, they were
all right. Whatever.
They were upset. Yeah, they were. Their thing was that they were obsessed with Jews to the point of like internal racism, where if you were a goy, my grandma was you know, she was
really.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Once I would go to, and I did things to piss her.
I fucking forgot the Jew bell.
I would try to piss her off by reminding her that I had friends who were Spanish or Christian or Catholic, and it was true. Like it just like rubbed her the wrong way. And there was one time I would go to my friend's place for Christmas upstate in Poughkeepsie, and it was just so, you know, so not Jewish and so it was just so like Christmassy or whatever, which is for a Jew fun.
Like, I know
it's fun.
Like no one loves Christmas more than the Jews.
No, exactly, because otherwise it's just like this, like all the horrible Hanukkah songs and some candles. But anyway, so I remember. All right. So depressing, but. Ultimately, I went there, and then I came back because I had to go back to Long Island to see the family for a thing we're doing the next day. But I got stuck in a snow. It was a horrible blizzard, and so a 2-hour ride turned into a 5-hour ride. And so I'm on Long Island going east, and my mom's like, "Don't come home. Stay with grandma in like Nassau County."
And you're like, "No!"
I'm like, "No." I was like, "No." First of all, I'm 20 minutes from home. They were like, No, stay there. I'm like, what? I just drove 5 hours. Right. But it's, you know, they're domineering, and I listened. And so I stayed with my grandma, and this is the grandma who hated non-Jews. Right. And so she was flipping through, like going through a catalog slowly. Right. And she was like, "How was Christmas?" And I was like, "Oh, it was great." And she's like, "Did you eat ham?" I was like, "No, I didn't." She goes, "Did you eat shrimp?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Do you know why our people don't eat shrimp?" Why? Because they're filthy. They sit at the bottom of the ocean and collect all the dirt. Yeah. And I was like, and that was her vibe. That was her. Right.
Did she work?
She worked in the family business for as long as it lasted.
But was she in World War II or anything? No. Holocausty.
No. Just
like
only.
My mother loved the Jew. You know, like she loved being Jewish. But it was never like we're better than everyone. You know,
it was.
It was, you know, she'd give mass cards to the neighbors and stuff like that. Like she acknowledged.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Like if something happened, you know, she'd say, but I mean, look, we are pretty cool, the Jews.
Yes. But you don't like.
You don't shut out the rest of the world.
Exactly. You don't shut out the rest of the world.
Was she religious?
I mean, they were Reformed, but she went to temple.
Were they kosher?
For most of her life, she was pretty kosher.
Yeah,
I mean,
I grew up kosher.
Yeah, they bent pretty kosher, and you know, I mean, she was, you know, she just loved the Jews and no one else.
All right, really so didn't. Now we're gonna do a scene.
Sure.
Where you come to, I'm your grandmother.
Okay.
And you come to visit me, and you got your first tattoo. Okay. All right. Okay. Eliot, how are you?
I'm good, Grandma. How are you?
Terrific. Why are you wearing long sleeves? It's 110 degrees outside.
I'm a little chilly in here. I'm a little chilly.
It's so goddamn hot. Pull up your sleeves. Take off your shirt, Eliot.
Grandma, I don't want to.
Take it off!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What did I say about talking about Jesus Christ in this house?
Oh, fine. Here you go.
Oh my God!
Grandma, it's not a big deal. Grandma, plenty of people get tattoos now. Everyone has tattoos.
I'm dizzy. I'm gonna pass out. Can you call the ambulance? Oh,
Grandma,
my
you're
God,
not gonna pass out.
Hard. I tried so hard.
No.
I tried so hard.
Grandma, so many people have tattoos.
I don't care. Did she freak out? Your sister and you and your sister are disgusting.
You know what's interesting is that she didn't freak out. She was conservative in a lot of ways.
Right.
But we also she lived with my uncle for their whole life, basically. He lived with her, basically.
Right. Gay?
Not sure.
Gay.
And I think he has sort of like cross-dressing qualities.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
And sorry, this one. I went out of my ear. Anyway.
Right. You can't hear now?
Just out of one ear. It's okay.
What the fuck?
No, it's okay. I'll fix.
Oh
it's
my
fine.
God,
it's fixed.
It's
ridiculous.
Okay.
Anyway, so she lived. You know, he lived with her basically for their whole life, and so I think there was an element of, you know, his queerness that even though she would never come out and say it, I think she was pushed to be like, all right, well,
he's special.
What's
his name?
Mark.
Mark is very special. I mean, Eliot. Eliot, I always said you took after Mark. Did I not say that he took after Mark?
Well, she did. There are some prize quotes where she would say, because she did, favor him in an obscene way.
Yeah.
And is
there only two of them?
No, my dad's the baby, my aunt's the oldest, and Mark is in the middle. And she would say things like, at the dinner table, Mark turned the pineapple on its side to drain the juices. Mark tossed the salad all by himself.
But why did he never leave?
I don't know.
Do you think he ever had a relationship with anyone?
Well, I mean, growing up, he had a relationship with a woman a couple of times, and he's still there. He lives in the house. She's passed about a year ago, and he's still there, and it's Is
your grandfather alive?
No.
So he lives in the house he grew up in, that he lived in his whole life. He's never lived anywhere else. Mm-mm. Did he go to college?
I think he went to school locally, like NYIT or something.
Okay, we need to have him on the podcast.
Well, he's private and
fascinated.
Yeah, I mean, it was always just interesting because Alana and I guess, we're just very, I don't know if hippie is the right word, but
right.
We're very lefty, hippie.
Were you gravitated to him?
No.
Oh.
No.
It was the complete opposite.
For the most part. But I still have compassion for him. And I think it was interesting how it affected my grandma, who wouldn't call somebody's boyfriend or girlfriend that. She'd call them the friend until they were married. But she had a potentially trans son living with her, and they would get manicures together and haircuts together. But she was still like, her own weird Jewy version of Jackie O. Where it's like, we don't do this, we don't do that, and also she would say, I'll never forget.
They do that.
They do that. They would do this, and they were they belonged to like a Jewy pool and tennis club for their whole lives, and ding, 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 and my grandma started saying, all these girls, they're starting to wear fancy bathing suits. My dad's like, what are you talking about? She's like, these fancy bathing suits, one on top, one on bottom. My dad's like, you mean like bikinis? They're fancy. We don't do that. We don't do that.
The Jews do not wear bikinis. I've never seen a Jew.
The funniest thing of all is crazy is that my sister has like very, very curly hair.
Yes,
and
I've met her.
Yeah, of course. And my grandma would say to her growing up, your hair is wild.
Yeah, my mother used to say that.
What is that? Your hair is wild.
Because they come from a generation. I remember my mother used to, I walked in one day, I had these new cool sunglasses and my hair. And she goes, oh, I thought Howard Stern just walked in.
Oh my God.
I was like, Ma.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? But at least she knew who Howard Stern was.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like your hair is ethnic.
Right.
Why? What is that weird?
It's that whole. Even though my mother was, it's that whole. It's like, look at Joan Rivers had to get her whole face redone.
Right, totally.
Because looking like a Jew was.
Also, did you grow up? I mean, I feel like this was people who I grew up around, but all the Jewish girls would straight iron their hair.
Yes, and get no jobs. And get no jobs.
Nose jobs, but more, I mean, just as important was girls who had this hair that was like so straight that it was like you could just they.
But I grew up in the 70s,
right? So. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but they would blow out, and they had to have the wings.
Sure.
The wings.
Sure.
And they all wanted to look like Charlie's Angels,
right?
Is your thing bad?
No, I can hear it now.
Here, take this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine now. I can hear
all right.
it.
Patrick! You're like the worst. This place is... I can't take it.
What'd you call it? Play shit?
Play.shit. How come Taz's picture's not up in here?
He's been off this week. He's on vacation.
Yeah, well... That's why it's so pleasant. Right?
Well, I can hear perfectly in this one.
All right, good. So, do you think he's gonna go through with it? Did he work?
Well, He worked for
the family.
Yeah, and then when
quote unquote.
Right. And then when the business, took a nosedive, my dad was like
a nose job dive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it was my dad and him, and that was it at that point. Like,
so your father
business afloat, and then when it tanked, my dad was like trying to like keep put food on the table for a family of 4. And my uncle wasn't, and so it just sort of like fell to shit, and then ultimately.
But the pineapple drained.
I hope he saved the juices. The juices were drained.
I hope he saved the juices from the pineapple.
It was and that's sort of part of the reason that I've connected with your comedy and also with Howard is because, hearing the impressions of your mother and the impressions of his mother, it's like, holy fucking shit. Like,
you don't feel alone.
This is real. You don't feel alone. It's real. It's so real.
Right.
And ultimately I was like, Dad, you have to start listening to Stern again.
Right.
And of course they listened to Judith Has a Roommate.
Oh my, Judith's roommate had a baby. Because that's what my mother used to say.
Right. But we would listen to the album together.
Oh my God, I love you. 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 I love you.
It's so funny and so real. And they can't believe that there are these outlets like you and Stern and even like the more like Seinfeld or whatever where this stuff is real and out there, and these are real characters, like these are real. You have to know that I went to lunch with my boyfriend's parents for the first time yesterday.
Joe?
No. Sorry.
Eliot! Can you call the EMT? All right, go ahead.
And I was FaceTiming with my mom beforehand with Alana, and my mom goes, "You can text me after the lunch date. Tell me how it went." And I was like, "I don't know, Mom. I don't know if that's appropriate." And hold on, I wrote down what she said because it was so funny. She said, her exact words were, "It's not crossing boundaries to be close to your mother." It's not crossing boundaries to be close to your mother.
I love that.
Who would, besides a Jew would say anything like that?
No one would even talk about boundaries.
I mean,
like they don't even know that there are boundaries.
It's not crossing boundaries to be close. I was like, Mom, that is brilliant. She goes, "You can use it."
Oh, my mother used to do that all the time.
Use it.
What'd you say about me tonight? That's what she used to say.
You can use it.
So, and every time I went to therapy,
did you talk about me?
Yes. What was all about me? I'm like, yeah, Ma. That's all I talk about is you 24/7.
I get that. Do you talk about us in therapy?
Yeah.
What do you talk about? What's there to talk about? What do we do wrong?
Yeah. It's all my fault. That's what she said. It's my fault. Everything's my fault. My fault. My fault.
Love it. It's so real.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
When you were growing up, were you really close with Alana? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't fight?
Oh, she was an angel. I was a dick.
Really?
She was like I like have trouble watching home movies now because watching me like tease her breaks my heart because it's like she was
now you know her.
Yeah, and she was this like adorable cherubic, the cutest kid, and I was cute, but I would say annoying. I don't know if my family would, but I would say, oh, so annoying and like hammy. Right. And like I would just at a certain point I was insistent. I kept calling her this is how annoying I was. Like I would call her the princess and say, oh, she's favored, she's the princess. Right. And I would draw pictures about her being the princess. And I had a best friend who had a brother Alana's age, and we called him the prince, and we like wrote like a fucking musical about it.
The prince and the princess.
Yes, so called
I call
Kingdom.
my girlfriend the princess.
You do?
Yeah, because she's always like, "Do we have to?" I'm like, "Okay, princess."
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't. Does it drive her nuts?
Sometimes
it's
but not
it's
really.
Different because it's not. You're not teasing.
Right,
you're
but
not
it's
trying
like
to like drive her nuts.
She now picks which gigs she wants to go.
Right.
And then she'll be like, "Well, what hotel are we staying at?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, let me check it out, princess."
Right. She wants.
So when did you know you were A?
I guess I was definitely like one of those like queer kids who was just like queer in like my interests, I guess.
Right.
But still, I don't know. But ultimately, I guess I knew when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's
When you go through adolescence,
I think
you
so.
go, wait, I'm weird. And then when you're 12, you go, oh
yeah. And I remember saying,
I
remember saying to my mom, like, there's a guy at school who, like, he's so handsome. I think I want to be him. And she was like, okay, like, maybe that's what you want. You want to be him, be like him. And I was like, maybe.
Do you think she was trying to discourage?
No, I think she. No. I think she was just trying to be compassionate in that moment without being too pushing one way or the other.
So were you bar mitzvahed?
Yeah, but
it was a reform.
Yeah, because we were
so
like,
you had like a priest there, or
oh no priest, but I think because we were sort of still at that point financially struggling.
Right.
I went to a Hebrew school that was, oh God, I don't even know how you describe it. It was like it was a secular Hebrew school.
Right.
Does that sound do you know that?
Like Chabad kind of?
No, not. It was literally like every Saturday.
Saturday's Shabbat.
I know, but that's how Reformed this was.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
That every Saturday morning it would take place in a bunch of classrooms at a community college,
right?
And it would be, like there would be those grades, basically, I guess like 1 through 5 or 1 through 6.
Right. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, and Hey.
Yes. And so all those classes would go, and so you'd do that, and you'd
Wait,
you'd
have to go. All right, that's a pre. Go ahead.
And it was just a secular thing where you weren't learning a lot of Hebrew. You were learning the stories and the cultural traditions, and
Did you read out of the Torah?
I did not. I read I did like a book report on my Haftorah portion, but it was like at the catering hall.
Oh, so you wasn't even at a shul?
No. So if suffice it to say, Alana went to Hebrew school. After
she
me.
did.
She did.
Because you were just fucked.
I think it was just, I think
they were like, this is not.
Well, I don't think they could afford private school at the time, but also I think afterwards it was like, it was fine, but I doubt it was fully what my dad especially would have wanted.
And his mother.
His mother, yeah.
This isn't a bar mitzvah. What is this? Where's the Torah?
It was a book. I was reading a book report about my Haftorah portion.
Do you feel Jewy? Do you feel like a Jew?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I mean, I sweat so much. Food is so important.
Yeah,
I wish food wasn't so important, but it's so fucking important.
But it's like I think about it all the time.
All the time.
Like I wake up, I'm like, okay,
what is more annoying than when I know it? You might even be able to answer this question for me. Is it anything more annoying than when somebody says about food?
What?
I forgot to eat today.
I did that on stage the other night.
I forgot to eat today.
I forgot to eat today.
How?
Because
why? Who forgets? Who forgets?
It's all I think about.
How do you forget to eat? It drives me nuts. Especially,
I have a whole new bit, like at least 10 minutes about, because now everyone has a food issue.
Yes.
But it's also like I was out to dinner, right? It was it was me and Elisa, and then our friends, right? Maria and Betsy. Okay, so we're at dinner. We get like wine, and then we get appies, right?
Sure.
And then they're like, would everyone like to order their entrees? So I order like, steak,
right.
And then Elisa orders, and then Maria orders, and then Betsy, number 4, says, "Can I have the crab cake appetizer as my
meal?"
I said, "You don't know.
What?
You're not ruining my fucking meal because you have portion control.
Right.
No.
Oh, it's
no. You can't have that.
I've never
doggy bag. You fuckhead.
What are you What are you talking about?
I know.
I don't get it.
And also, like, hey, you want to meet for some coffee or food? And then they're like, well, I don't eat. Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, my mom is like gluten intolerant, so we. So we've gotten used to that spiel.
Oh, she better not come see my act. What about, and I know, you know what I was thinking yesterday? Like, they opened this place called Sweet Green right on my blog.
Oh, yeah. They have them in LA too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I said to Ben, my son, the 15-year-old, he's like, oh, let's go to the diner because we love the diner, right? Because they have French fries. And then I said, and we're walking by Sweet Green. I go, let's go in there. And he's like, ew. And I'm thinking, like, I think ew too.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel like I have to because everyone's eating fucking kale and fucking shit and sunflower seeds.
And that is relatively new. Like
I realize that you're all gonna live. These people, like these 20-year-olds,
right,
are going to live
forever.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I mean, I remember we would go to the health food store growing up, and that was seen as like, like
right, and it
you
smells.
pussies, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, who goes to the health food store and gets all this fucking grains and shit?
Right.
And now, the last 10 years, everyone is
they must just shit in their pants all the time.
And if you think it's bad here, I mean, LA is insane.
Oh, the worst.
Insane.
But here's the thing. Like, I remember my mother ate yogurt. My parents were pretty healthy.
Yeah,
but, my mother was born in 1922. My father was born in 1916. Like, they would eat. My father actually did drink buttermilk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But they would have yogurt and grape nuts, and we had our own vegetables.
Yes.
And that was considered...
Yes. As a kid, I was, like, really excited about grape nuts and Nutri-Grain.
Right.
That was
and
exciting.
now, I mean, it's literally...
Wait, so does that mean that Ben has the actual palate of a 15-year-old where he's like, I want shitty food all the time? He does?
Pizza. Even Henry. They want, like... Henry won't eat a cheeseburger because I Jewed him up too much.
Sure.
And he doesn't eat bacon or anything. And I was, my home is pretty kosher.
Sure.
I grew up like that. So
Sure.
for me, it's like, no, it's weird, but I still eat whatever the fuck I feel like.
Sure. But I guess I'm always interested.
Yes. So Ben is like pizza, milkshake.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah, chicken nuggets. Yeah,
shit.
they still... Both of them. But then, like, he'll be like, oh, I gained a little weight. I'm going to have salads. Like, they know how to do it.
That's
like, we
so
didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, even
Ring dings, devil dog.
Right.
But I was the only mother, like, so Ben's going to be 16 next month. But when they were, like, young, even 6 years ago, when he was, like, 10.
Sure.
All the, there are some parents who are, like, the kids are, like, 3 pounds.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we don't eat that. We don't eat that. So I had the snack drawer
at your house.
At my house with shit. Like what Oreos.
For the boys too? For everybody?
All the boys.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the smallest apartment. They're all fucking loaded,
Right.
But everyone would want to come over and the snack drawer.
Right.
So like if their parents
Yeah.
knew the shit they were eating, Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's my question is like, I was watching, it's just random, but I was watching Ghostbusters, which I'd never seen before. And there's a scene where Harold Ramis starts eating a Twinkie.
Right.
Just, it's not like a big part of the scene.
Not kosher. I never had one until I was older.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, God knows what's in that shit.
I know.
But
stick your tongue in the little hole. Yeah.
But seriously, like what? Like that. He was just eating a Twinkie. You would never see that now.
Right.
You would never see somebody be like, unwrapping a Twinkie or a Ding Dong or like a mid-afternoon snack that's made of like gym mats and horse hooves and you know whatever's in there
and like recycled plastic
exactly.
and shit like. But and people like when I was a kid, they first of all people smoked on TV like on the Johnny Carson.
Right.
People smoked on the plane.
Right.
Do you remember any of this?
No.
So they'd have a smoking section. Like it made a fucking difference. It was in the back. People smoked in movie theaters.
Right. Ooh.
Everyone smoked.
I mean, I was like in college by the time that smoking was, ruled out of New York. So there was always the smoking area of diners on Long Island.
Right.
And that was like, my friends wanted to sit there because they would smoke and it was disgusting.
Right.
Disgusting. But
I smoked.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
My dad smoked too a little bit.
Yeah. But then I
Everybody
stopped.
did.
I met my ex's parents who smoked like 3 packs a day, and I went there for dinner, and they're sitting at the table, and all of a sudden the father goes, and I was like, I'm done.
Well, there's also your friend. I remember your bit about your friend.
Patty.
No oil.
Yeah, she used to order, like, I'd be like, do you want something,
Make sure they don't fry it.
I'm like, why do you care if they fry it when you're having fucking 12 packs of cigarettes a day?
She's afraid of the MSG, but she's like loading her esophagus with
fucking tar and nicotine. Will you come back?
I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to.
I love you. I love you.
I love you. I know every word of Judith Sherman Had a Baby. It's so good to listen. I still listen to it.
I got to do another one.
It's so funny.
It is.
I made all my when we were in a cappella in college and we'd go to retreats. I'd play it in the car for friends.
Oh my God, I love you.
Yeah, people love it.
Oh my God, you're my favorite guest ever, ladies and gentlemen. The incredible Eliot. Now, where can they find you?
Just EliotGlazer.com, Instagram /Eliot Glazer. It's all just my name.
E-L.
1 L 1 T.
You fucking idiots.
1 L 1 T and GLAZER.
All right. I love you.
And Broad City.
And Broad City.
Broad City.
And your new dog, Deplin.
My new dog, Deplin. I love that name. I like the name Declan. I think that's a hot name because it's so Irish and not Jewish.
Right. But
Deplin is
makes
great.
I might use. I might get a dog and name it Deplin. All right.
No,
thank
name
you.
it Thorazepine. Is that the other?
Wait. Thorazepine. Yeah.
Is that what you take to go to sleep?
Yes.
Yeah. Name a dog Thorazepine.
Wait. What is it? Yeah. Paxil's not a good dog.
Paxil's pretty funny. Paxil's funny.
Well, Butrin, get over here. Celexa.
I love Celexa.
Celexa's a good name. All right.
That's great.
Thank you for being
here. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible Eliot Glazer. And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.